Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vanillaraccoon and welcome to the Ripple Effect server. In the previous episode, we built this cellar that is right beneath an igloo, which means then the raccoon sanctuary is going to be located within an ice plain biomes here in the Ripple Effect server. And sometimes when you do YouTube, you just get into the gist of things, meaning that you record videos left and right, and then you begin to edit them and upload them. So as I begin to record this episode, the previous one has not gone out yet. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, if by now you've already left a comment on that video giving me ideas as to what we can build out here in the raccoon sanctuary, then I'll see them at some point in time and then I'll be sure to respond to them. And if I absolutely adore the ideas that I see, then I'll act on them and try and make them work here on the Ripple Effect server. Reading comments on YouTube videos is one of my favorite parts about doing this thing, so don't ever think that I won't read them, because I will. Now in this episode, what I want to begin to work on is a little bit of a tunnel system that strays from the basement, and then also later on I would like to try and resolve one minor little issue that I have, and that is having to just take items, throw them into my inventory, climb a ladder, put them where I would like to, and then come back down. I'd like to set up an item elevator, and I've actually stumbled across a pretty nifty design that comes from a former server mate of mine. Now I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details of this quite yet. What I want to begin to do, like I said, is just expand my cellar and create some type of a little tunnel system, and then from there we can begin to work on a mine shaft, and then is when we'll begin to establish our item elevator. So I've got some excavating to do. I hope you have a fizzy beverage along with a healthy snack at the ready to consume, and let's begin this Let's Play. So I decided to get up and go, both in real life and also in game, so that I could get some fresh air after being down under the ground for so long. And as I began to make my way back to my nice little igloo, I noticed that I have an unwanted visitor. Now let's just be careful here because I don't want to take any damage. I'm not wearing any armor, and where you at, buddy? Oh no. I have had the worst luck on the server so far in regards to trying to maintain my life. I think upon the recording of this video at least, I've now experienced death a total of 7 times, whereas the noobs, God bless his soul, I suppose, has experienced 0 deaths. That's quite interesting, seeing as how there's a running joke of how the noobs is, like his name states, quite a noob. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we've done so far. Now, for the most part, the extension of our cellar has been fully implemented. Both of these floors, and that's right, only 2 floors have been added throughout many cycles of working so far. Both of these floors here will resemble the main one, and that's mainly because I really like how the look and feel has turned out. It sort of looks like a dark and dingy room, but then you see the plant life around it, and it just makes you think, okay, this isn't some creepy catacombs or anything like that whatsoever. Now, in this open room right here, sorry, I don't like to eat with my mouth full. In this open room, at least, I'm not entirely sure what I want to put in here. I was considering the idea of setting up some type of a nano farm, but I don't know yet. I mean, I already have a storage unit on the main floor. I suppose here I could get away with placing some type of a nano crop farm. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think I should place there that is essential to my survival here on the Ripple Effect server. But in this room right here, this is where my nether portal is going to be at. Now, I don't know about yous, but I suffer from a pet peeve where whenever I set up a new nether portal, I always set it up so that it is facing north to south and vice versa. Never west to east and the other way around. Not entirely sure why that is. It's just something that I have a habit of doing, and I'm going to stick with it, at least for now. So one thing that I'm thinking of doing with this item elevator, that's the one thing I want to touch on real quick before I forget to do so. And I could just move in here real quick. So let's pretend that we're going to have a focal point in which the extension of our cellar is wrapping around. So let's go ahead and pretend that this slab is the main room. This slab is this one right here. and this slab is the one right down there. In case you couldn't tell by now, we sort of have this wrapping around one little area, and I'm thinking right in the center is where we're going to establish our item elevator. Now, if you may have noticed, we don't have that much space that we can work with in regards to having a chest that can then retrieve the items from and place them within the item elevator. However, I kind of was thinking of maybe just placing a chest off to the side of our stairwell that we have going from each floor, and then we'll set up a system that pulls them into the item elevator, and that way then they make their way all the way to the tippy top, and we can just make our way to the ground, well, to the surface I should say, check out what's going on outside of our igloo, but then also have our items sitting there waiting for us. I may have to call in the help of some of my fellow server mates to help me set this up. But with that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and link up my nether portal. Afterwards then, I'm going to begin working on this item elevator, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, so it's been a few more cycles, and believe it or not, I've actually been doing some redstone work. And thankfully, I haven't even crashed the server, not even once. So I do have one small predicament. It wouldn't be a classic Vanillaraccoon does redstone without having a few bumps in the road. So let's go ahead and take a look at this item elevator. Now, I want to state one thing right here now before I go ahead and share the video with you and briefly touch on it. In the video, the creator claims that this is lossless. However, I have been running into a few issues, and I've watched the videos more times than I can count, and also more times than both fingers and toes combined. Oh my days, that literally just made me jump in my chair. Oh my god, this is... Okay, so I just had a minor heart attack, and I'm just gonna now begin to do some landscaping so I can repair the damage that that creeper had done. Thank God he didn't blow up any of my redstone stuff here. So, like what I was saying, in the video, the guy claims that this is a 100% lossless item elevator. However, let's go ahead and just say, let's grab our 52 stone blocks and we're going to throw it into the dropper. As you can tell, this whole thing, you have a redstone clock that you would normally see within redstone tutorial videos. There's also a bunny just hopping over to the side. Hello there, little bunny. And then all you're going to do is you're going to have a line of droppers that are going upwards. And ooh, what do you know? The blocks. Oh, okay. So I completely forgot that I want to have a chest sitting up there so that the items can pour into it via hopper and not have to begin flowing out like you just saw. But we have a row of droppers that are going to be going up, and then right behind them we have these observers. The very bottom one is going to be looking at the dropper, and then the remaining observers will be facing downward. So let's just go ahead and quickly pillar up here. I completely forgot that I wanted to do this, so let's completely ignore this test, even though we now have only 50 on our person, and there should be, let's go ahead and just break down our nether brick and then place a hopper shooting into there. Muy excelente. And again, we're going to just disregard this demonstration. However, there is one stone block in there, and there is one more stone block inside of here. So I've watched this video quite a number of times, and I've been able to copy everything that he had within it right here on the Ripple Effect server, and for some reason, let's go ahead and insert the 52 stone blocks within the bottom dropper. Once this stops flashing, we should hear one more click or something like that. That will then indicate that it's done transporting all the items. But for some reason, we still are going to have a few blocks missing. Now, let's just go ahead and begin to pillar upwards once more, and let's go ahead and take a peek within the chest. There you go, you just heard the clicking, right? And now we have 50 stone blocks, whereas in the very top dropper right here, we're going to have the one, and then we're going to begin to pillar downwards, and then 2 droppers down, we're going to find the 52nd stone block. So I'm not entirely sure what the dealio is with this. I'm not going to install this quite yet. I want to try and figure out what's wrong with it, but also if anyone who's watching this video is able to identify the problem, well, please let me know in the comment section down below or in the official Ripple Effect Discord server what the issue is, so then I can begin to mend it. But wanted to quickly bring it back, show you the item elevator, and now through the power of YouTube cards, one will be appearing in the top right corner of your screen that you can click or tap on, and it will take you to this item elevator tutorial video. But with that all being said, I'm going to begin to continue to patch up the creeper explosion that occurred and begin to fiddle around with this some more and see what I can do down in the cellar to try and make it look a little more appealing to the eyes. So I am the type of guy who does not really give up on things too easily, if even at all. I guess you could say I have perseverance, but I'm also the type of guy who is fairly resilient. And for those of you who don't know what resilient means, it means that in the event that, say, you're down in the dumps about something, you're fairly quick to be able to bounce back and say to yourself, you know what, man, I can do whatever I want so long as I put my mind to it and do the work that's required. But redstone ain't one of those things, unfortunately. No matter how hard I try, no matter how many times I can watch and hear things over and over pertaining to redstone, it just flies over my head through one ear and out the other, I suppose. So I am going to have to try and figure out what I can do to get this thing to work. And also, as you can tell, I didn't patch up the creeper hole, but I'll do that off camera, peeps. Don't worry. By the time the next episode rolls out into your sub boxes after you've subscribed and everything, it'll be patched up. And also by the time I do my next Mixer live stream, it'll definitely be patched up by then. So I know I said in the previous episode I was gonna try and figure out a way to make the cellar look, oh, look at that, it's snowing. What's the season? Ooh, it's autumn. Once again, month 1 means that it is spring, month 2 means it is summer, month 3 means it is autumn, and month 4 means it is winter, which comes at a gravely cost to some, but not to me. So I know I said in the previous segment that I wanted to try and make the cellar look a little more appealing to the eyes, but I think I'm going to wait to do that during my next Mixer live stream from the Ripple Effect server. So whilst I was out and about during one of the later portions of the cycles, I came across that polar bear, and I thought to myself, don't they usually spawn in pairs, and maybe even with a cub? And so I looked up on the Minecraft wiki polar bears, and it said the same things, but we only have this guy right here, so he's all by his lonesome. But don't worry, we'll pop up to the surface from time to time, pay him a visit, maybe take him out for a walk, because even polar bears need to stretch their paws, well, their legs, and work out their paws. Am I right, little guy? So I then started thinking, well, if I'm going to be adopting a new pet in-game, I want to give him a name. And I took to the official Ripple Effect Discord server. Once again, a link to that can be found right beneath the like and subscribe buttons. And I was like, hey, I'm adopting a new pet in-game. I need a name. What you've got? And I got some pretty good names, but unfortunately, they didn't make the cut. And also, there was one name that I really liked, but I would not have been able to pronounce it. I would probably stutter over my words and trip over my words, and just if I had to read it on paper, I would skip over those words just because it would be so hard to pronounce and continue reading. So then I thought, you know what about that old school Coca-Cola commercial where it has a polar bear staring up at the northern lights and he's just sipping on a nice, cold, refreshing Coca-Cola product. So I tried to look up the name of the bear, couldn't find it, and then I decided to look up the inspiration for that commercial. And, well, peeps, gather around the virtual campfire, which is this torch, I suppose. It's story time with Uncle V. Oops. Uncle V. There we go. So there was a guy named Ken Stewart, and he was asked to create a new iconic commercial for Coca-Cola, but he didn't have any ideas until one day his dog, which I think was a Labrador Retriever, had walked into the room, and this Labrador Retriever looked like a polar bear. And so then Ken Stewart decided, you know what, let's try and make some type of a commercial that involves a polar bear, but what would he be doing? So after brainstorming it, he then came up with the iconic commercial that we all know and love today. And I thought, you know what, that's a pretty nice story. You know, I like to get some background information on things like that. So I decided to look up the name of the dog, and lo and behold, it's Morgan. So Mr. Polar Bear. We're gonna name tag you Morgan. Let's just make sure I don't have anything in my offhand so I don't accidentally punch you, because I don't want to get mauled by a bear today. Boom! So this guy's name is Morgan. Now the main reason why I wanted to name tag him was, one, I didn't want to just say that polar bear, the polar bear, our polar bear. I wanted to give him a name because everyone has a name in life. And also, I didn't want him to risk despawning. But since it seems to be snowing now, and also I've just about run out of time for this episode, I think that's a very good note to end it on. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like, and if you are new to the channel, then I invite you to check out the rest of it. But do not forget to turn on notifications when subscribing. That way you will then be notified when future Minecraft and other gameplay content is uploaded by yours truly, Vanillaraccoon. I would like to wish you a happy day, and peace out.